I'm La Bohemian Muse. Thank you so much for coming back to my IGTV series on Renegade Renaissance. We are now on episode 6. One more, and thank you. Thank you so much. If you've stuck so far with me throughout this series, I really appreciate you coming back and checking out this episode. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for sharing. I really wanted to create this series to really give the stories behind the work, and I'm hoping it's helpful with receiving it. So anyway, this episode is kind of continuing the conversation about the evolution of the work. I talked about the triplets, I referenced them last week. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about them. So the triplets were not made actually in unison together, but we paired them that way in the show so you can kind of see them put together, and they tell a great story of almost the Cliff Notes version of basically everything I've been saying in this series about how this work has evolved. And so the pieces are the Dogmist, or it's really Dogmist. And Dogmist is a great prime example of that constant battle within myself between color and texture. And so it gives off a great example of seeing how that battle is taking place. And then after that, you have the piece Unruly. And Unruly is a great example of sort of that process starting to work, and how the color again is taking a back seat, becoming practically a ghost, the minimization of the colors that I use, but also playing around with colors and textures in terms of how I want you to eye the piece and observe it, because you have that nice strike of red there that kind of immediately gravitates your eyes before you kind of search within the rest of the pieces of the work. And then lastly, you have red. And red is a great example for a title, also because it is the goal of the work entirely. It's reaching the pinnacle of entirely meeting that goal of erasing my past art technique and sort of fusing this new way of working, and just allowing myself to really take on a new way of growing and developing the work. Some other pieces that play along with this is Coupe and Wayward. And Coupe and Wayward, I actually want to emphasize, not in the sense of the colors and technique, but I choose to talk about them in a sense of their names. One of the things I haven't talked about is why I named the work the way I work. With the exceptions of Incandescence and Sprite, most of the works labeled are labeled by synonyms of the word rebel. So all of my series, I usually take, if it's titled one way, I name most of the works some words that are similar to that. So again, with Dogmist and even Red and Unruly, you have Wayward and Coupe. So Wayward and Coupe are two great pieces as well that I've sort of loved the development of, because even though Wayward also shows example of almost me kind of reverting back to color, taking that subject matter again, it still is like there's a bit of a harmonious battle between the two, rather than one fighting the other, and they really work. Coupe is a great example of it finally, again, as I've repeated over and over again, you're seeing sort of how the success of me being able to go between the two. And I actually worked on Wayward and Coupe around the same similar time. And so it was very interesting to go back and forth between the two pieces, because I don't usually work on one piece by itself. I'm usually working on many works due to the process of the layer, texture, and drying. If one piece is being dried, I'm working on another piece that has been dried the night before. So works get worked on several times, which makes it interesting in terms of going back and forth with the mindset and the goal when working. So with Wayward and Coupe, I thought it was very interesting to work between the two pieces and literally have this division between the two worlds of goal meeting, goal almost there, but this like great battle between the two. Wayward is also, as I mentioned in the very first episode, I'm only doing limited edition prints of the work, and so Wayward is a special print going on right now that I'm doing for anyone that joins my Patreon this month. And if you don't know what Patreon is, it's a great platform for creatives to build a sort of relationship with their patrons and get support towards their creative projects or any sort of, it's a great way of supporting artists, I should say. So I have a few patrons myself, and I'm happily accepting more. But I like to gift those that are part of my, or become a part of my community. So for a special, as a celebration for Renegade Renaissance, I am doing a special to anyone that joins at the $25 tier level will get a limited edition print of Wayward. And so that is only being released to those that join at the 25 tier level, and Wayward will only be going to those patrons. And again, it'll be unlimited. I'm only doing it for the course of the August, and I may go into September with it, but for now it's a special for that. But anyone else that wants a print from the series, as I said, the only print I'm doing right now is Break Faith, which will be a limited edition for a few. So if you're interested in purchasing one, you can get one at my website. If you're interested in joining my Patreon, you can follow the link here and check out. Each patron is done by tier levels. So there are tier levels of $1, $5, $25, and so mine goes from $1 all the way up to I believe $300. $100? Excuse me. Up to $100. So check it out. It's a great way to support any artist, not even myself. If you love supporting the arts and want to be involved in the artist process or be involved with projects or anything, any of the artists you follow or admire, it's a great way of being able to support them. So yeah, that is our episode 6. We are gearing up for the last one. Again, please check out more work of the Rebel series' entirety on my website. You could also see some of the works on the gallery website, which is artattacksf.com. And also, if you want to check out past series and you haven't gotten to see the full scale, you can go to my IGTV and check out the rest of the series, or YouTube, whatever your preference, but it will also live on my website. I got you covered in all places. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.